Exhausted, Robert slept much of the way to Maryland, awakening only to change trains and eat the beef sandwiches Truth bought for them at the depots. Friend Quisenberry met them at the Hagerstown depot that evening. Smiling, he said, "I got a telegram. Thee has performed a miracle, child. I take it this is Robert." Then looking about, he added, "But where is thy uncle?" Truth answered, "Hurt in New York. I'll tell thee on the way to thy house." Turning to Robert, she said quietly, "Thee and I will be in Virginia by morning. Rest now. Kind people risk their lives to help us." "I know," he replied, "and I am truly thankful." The Quisenberries fed them and let them sleep a few hours. All too soon, the weary travelers were blindfolded and led outside. Truth gripped the two Quisenberries' hands in turn, thanking them and receiving their blessings. Then she and Robert were on their way over the border in the creaking, jolting buggy. That evening, the two cousins rode in the hearse to the house with children and to the secret room. As before, Truth saw no one but was fed courteously and given a soft bed. At their next stop, the old man Truth recognized from his grating voice came for them in his wagon, and they spent the following day in his root cellar among his turnips, potatoes, and cabbages. By this time, Robert's malaria had returned and his teeth were chattering. Truth gave him some quinine, and to comfort him, she said, "It will please thee to know that our own friend Buchan will be here tonight. He will put us in the false bottom of his wagon." "Friend Buchan?" asked the shivering Robert. "Yes, and Martha. She may come too. She has worried over thee and prayed for thee all along." Robert's voice was strong as he replied, "Then we're almost home, almost home." Truth and Robert lay in the false bottom of the Buchan's wagon as the Quaker, with Martha beside him, drove up to the front of the Bardwell house. Robert was quite ill, sicker than he had been since they left Elmira. He shuddered with chills and then blazed with fever. He had been hidden by day in the harness room at the Buchan's farm, covered with blankets. Sister Buchan and Martha had tried to get him to eat, but he had taken only water. As they set out, Robert had raved in a fitful sleep and tossed about. They had to go on, though. The rocks were a far safer place to hide than the farm. After dark, Robert had been half carried to the wagon and loaded inside. Truth called in and lay beside him. She had a towel to put over his mouth to stop him from crying out. When the Buchan's wagon finally stopped moving and the wagon bottom was open, Truth knew that she and Robert were home at last. As friend Buchan and Martha helped her out, she could see Aunt Elizabeth and Lucy standing there with their lanterns, a look of joy on their faces. As soon as the neighbors helped Robert out, Truth's aunt set the lantern down and pulled him into her embrace. "Robert, is it really thee?" she asked, and then she asked in terror, "Why is thee so hot? And where is thy father?" Truth answered her quickly to put an end to her worst fear. "He's in New York City, at the house of a Quaker doctor." "Is he sick too?" "Yes, but the doctor and Squire are seeing to his welfare." "Squire, the slave who came here?" "Yes, he and his wife helped me in the North." As the Bardwell women helped Robert into the house, Truth told of her journey one more time. When she finished, her aunt said in amazement, "Thee did that alone, child?" "No, as I told thee. Squire and Lily helped me. Aunt, Robert has malaria." Truth took her bottle of quinine powder from her pocket. "You must give this to him. Brew it in a tea. He needs it now." Suddenly, Truth's voice faltered. "Oh, Aunt Elizabeth, I don't feel well. I feel so weak." "Martha," called William Buchan, who was helping to hold Robert on his feet, "take Truth up to her bed." "Yes, father." Truth felt her friend's arm go around her waist. Then she was pulled through the house and up the stairs to her room. Still dressed, she fell onto the bed. As Martha unlaced her boots and took them off, she told Truth, "Go to sleep. Thee has earned it. Todd and father will get Robert to the rocks and hide him." Truth slept for a long time. When she awoke, she washed at the basin and changed into clean clothes. Not until breakfast did she talk with her aunt, who was waiting for her at the kitchen table. She told Truth that Robert was conscious and had had a joyful reunion with Todd. He was, however, worried about his father, as she was. Truth shared their concern. She told her aunt, "Dr. Porter will send news, I'm sure." The woman nodded agreement and said, "Last meeting day, the elders and I talked. They mentioned thee. They think highly of thee. I have sent a message to them, and they will know that thee has returned with Robert." Aunt Elizabeth smiled. "Thee is a true daughter to us, a blessing. Did thee see that good man, Mr. Lincoln?" "No, only a shadow." "Oh, that is a pity. He wrote this letter for me." Now Truth handed the note to her aunt. The woman's eyes filled with tears as she read it and returned it. "It is a pity no one can be told of what thee has done." Truth replied, "After the war it can be related. Then thee can frame this letter and put it on the wall to keep forever." The girl ate some molasses-soaked cornbread kept ready for her. When she was finished, her aunt turned the conversation to Matthew Bardwell. "Oh, Truth, I hope he's getting better. You say they hit him on his head?" "Yes." "Injuries to the head can take time to heal." The woman's face was pale and anxious. "We must have patience and hope for the best. At least we can be thankful that Todd and Robert are safe. And Truth, I have some happy news to tell thee." Aunt Elizabeth now smiled, wiped her eyes with her apron, and said, "There'll be another one of us come spring. Lucy is having a baby, to be born in March." All the time that Truth spoke with the grave-faced elders outside the meeting house at the next first day meeting, she was aware of Lydia's watchful astonishment. Talking quickly, she told them all that had happened since she and her uncle had left the Bardwell farm. They listened silently, and finally one of the men said, "Thee did well, child. This will be a star in thy crown. Go now, the girl over there waits for thee." Truth now ran to Lydia, who asked, "Why did the elders speak with thee, Truth?" Truth was ready for the question and said, "My uncle hurt himself in Goldsboro and is still at the doctor's house there. They were asking after his condition." Oh, if only she could tell Lydia everything, too, but she could not. Instead, she said, "Has thee heard from Mr. Hartling recently?" "No, but he should write to thee, too, not just to us," Lydia giggled. "He should have asked thy uncle's permission to write thee, but he had no time. It's thee he fancies. I think he would become a friend for thy sake." "Oh, Lydia," scolded Truth, whose cheeks had become pinker as her friend spoke. Lydia just giggled again.